Yo, what's good? It's your boy, Red. I finally figured out why I look so red whenever I fucking record these. I've like a filter on my camera apparently, and I can't be fucked to turn it off. So yeah, I'm just gonna look like I'm fucking cooked the entire thing, but it's fine. Today, a local fighting game YouTuber talks about a game that's not fighting game? Whoa! Yeah, imagine that. For real, I am working on like another, fighting game gold. Life is just it's a very tricky, busy kind of time at the moment. I'm back to sorting out. I remember I said it in a community post where I was talking about like how my student grant was getting fucked with. Yeah, still fighting over that. That's causing grief. But we'll maybe sort it out. It is what it is. It's fine. So anyway, we're gonna talk about Pokemon. I fucking love the early generations of Pokemon, not like playing them. Like there are fun games to just play through, like whatever. But I love competitive battling for like gens 1 through 3. So Red, Blue, Yellow, Gold, Silver, and Crystal, Ruby, Sapphire, Emerald. I love them with every fucking fiber of my being. They are so fun. So let's pop this up. What I wanted to do is I want to talk about the meta, right? I want to talk about why I love, in particular, Generation 1 OU. And you might be like, what is OU? What is an OU? Because that's fair. My audience is mainly about fighting games, so let me give you a bit of a lesson, right? In Generation 1, which is the original 3 games, there are 4 tiers, right? So you've Ubers. You can use any of the 151 Pokemon. Any of them. You've got Overused, which is the tier that's most played, where you can use all of the Pokemon except for Mewtwo and Mew. Everyone else is fair game. And then Underused, or UU. UU is just where Pokemon too good for the tier. How would I put it? The way I'd put it is that the Pokemon that are staples in Overused are not allowed in Underused. And then the Pokemon that are staples in Underused are not allowed in Never Used, or NU, which is the bottom tier. We're going to be talking about Overused and why I love this tier so much. A lot of people who aren't familiar with like the first generation of Pokemon, well, battling, I mean, they write this off as just like an RNG generation. And that's fair, because there's a lot of hacks, right? Hacks is generally what, RNG is referred to as in Pokemon. Like getting paralyzed over and over and over. The fact that crits are extremely common. It's stuff like that. But what I really appreciate about this generation, right? Someone said this, and I commented it on Twitter. Someone, we just had talking about it. I think that the smaller pool of Pokemon makes up for how RNG heavy Generation 1 can be. Because while, yeah, the game can be very erratic, you can get paralyzed by a body slam, you can get that 10% chance you get frozen and your Pokemon's just gone. You kind of know what to expect, right? It's very common in later Pokemon games that your team just happens to lose to another team. You can just happen to run into a team that has a very good matchup against yours. That's generally not the case in this generation. It's very consistent. You'll see the same handful of Pokemon, but there's still a lot of potential to mix it up, and that's what I appreciate. I like that a lot. So, what I will go through is let's look at the viability rankings. So, at the top here, you've got Tauros, Snorlax, and Chansey, right? These are the top 3 in the game. Generally, at top level at least, you should be using all 3 of these. And I know that would put some people off. You're like, whoa, you just talked about how there's room for creativity. How is there room for creativity if I have to use 3 normal types on my 6-person team? You don't have to. It's something to keep in mind, right? You can get away with not using a Snorlax or not using a Chansey. That's fine. It's important. Okay. How I would put it is it's important to not write it off as tier whoring, and to just understand why people say it. Like, people say you should use all 3 of these, right? Does that mean you have to? No. But you should understand why people say that. You get what I mean? That's fair enough, right? I think that's fair to say. And another thing that's very important, Snorlax and Chansey, right? These Pokemon have so much variety in like what they can run. Like you've got Reflect Lax. Snorlax I think is the best example. You can have Reflect Lax, Body Slam, Ice Beam, Reflect, Rest. I personally like an all-out offensive Snorlax set, which is the one I use in the replay that I'll show you in a bit. I like Body Slam, Counter, Earthquake, and Self-Destruct. I think that's a really fun set, because I feel that when Snorlax is forced to rest, for those of you who don't know, rest is a move where your Pokemon goes to sleep for 2 turns, can't do anything, but it fully heals them and cures them of status. I feel like when I'm forced to do that, my Snorlax tends to just die, like, or just not get used again, right? So I like to just explode and take something down with me. I enjoy that. Chansey has a lot of set variety too. This Chansey set that I use is a little bit unorthodox, but I enjoy it. Tauros, yeah, Tauros, you need Tauros, right? You need to be using Tauros in every game. I think even at, like, at top level, yeah, maybe you should have all 3 of these. And if you're not using, like, a Chansey, you need something that fills that gap. You need special walls, because that's kind of what Chansey does. But Tauros, yeah, you always need Tauros, I think. And there's not a huge amount of variety you can have with Tauros, but I'll talk about that down the line. And then just below that, you've like Starmie, Executor, Alakazam. Funnily enough, we've got the 3 normal types in the top tier, and then just below that is the 3 psychic types. It's funny. Psychic is really good too. You know, these all do their own thing. Starmie's just phenomenal. Executor, probably the most consistent sleeper in the game. Alakazam, amazing lead, very strong special wall. Spreads paralysis like nothing. And then B rank, you know, Zapdos, good mix sweeper, but is walled completely by Rhydon and Golem. Rhydon, normal resist, which is great when normal is such a good type. Cloyster, I haven't used Cloyster. I'll try it out. I will try it out at some point. The thing is, I'm just recently getting back into this generation. It's been a while. But yeah, Cloyster's a very good Pokemon. It's very tanky on the physical side. It can use Clamp. How moves like Clamp and Wrap work in Generation 1. If you hit them, the opponent can't do anything. So it just keeps going and going and going, doing a tiny bit of damage each time until you miss. It can be extremely annoying. And then you've got Jinx. Jinx is probably the most consistent source of fast sleep. And then Jolteon is just, you know, good. I don't really know much about it, but it's a good Pokemon for sure. Gengar, inconsistent. Fastest source of sleep, but it's inconsistent because it has to use Hypnosis. Jinx and Executor are using moves that have a 75% chance to inflict sleep. Gengar's is 60. But it is the fastest, and it's immune to normal type attacks, which is, you know, you can't argue against that. Slowbro. I fucking hate Slowbro. I hate Slowbro so fucking much. I am not at the point where I know how to, like, properly deal with this fucker. I'll get there. Trust me, I'll get there. Slowbro just sits on his ass and just, like, uses Amnesia all day. And the thing is, in Generation 1, Special Attack and Special Defense are 1 stat. Right? So, whenever Slowbro uses Amnesia, it's doubling how much damage it does with special attacks and it's halving how much damage it takes from special attacks. If you give this fucker like a turn or two, it's nearly GG's. It feels like GG's. It's rough. And then I'll kind of breeze over these. Articuno is the first Pokemon here that's not actually OU. This is like an underused Pokemon that just happens to have a decent niche in OU. Articuno is just a big fucking beatstick. It has the strongest Blizzard, and that's about it. But I like it a lot. I'm not very good at using it. I use it. And Lapras and Victory Bell, they are both OU, but they're the weakest Pokemon in OU, if that makes sense. You know, they're just, you know, they do their thing. And then these guys are pretty niche. Persian, shittier Tauros, but it's a bit faster. Moltres, I don't know. Dragonite! Oh, Dragonite and Golem. Okay, I should talk about these two, right? People who, like, they might have had a knowledge of Generation 1 overused, and now they don't. This might shock you, because these guys were both, like, solidly overused. And now they've both dropped. Dragonite is just... Fuck this piece of shit. Dragonite is probably the best rap... Well, was the best rapper in the game, right? And it's weird, this big-ass hulking dragon. But the thing is... What it did was just spam rap over and over and over and slowly chip away at your health. It was incredibly annoying. I'm glad you don't see it as often now. And being 4 times weak to ice is a massive weakness. It has no stab. Oh, for the record, stab is same type attack bonus. If a normal type Pokemon uses a normal type attack, it'll do 50% more damage. That's all there is to it, you know? Golem. Golem used to be synonymous with Rhydon. right? They used to be like, they had a great dynamic going on. Rhydon, like, they're both rock ground types, and rock types are great because they resist normal type attacks, which are very common, and the ground typing is useful because it lets you switch into paralysis. Thunder Wave is a move that will paralyze you. It's an electric type move. Being paralyzed cuts your speed by 75%, and it gives you a 25% chance whenever you attack to just be fully paralyzed and not do anything. Very strong in this generation, especially since there's not really any way to get rid of status. Outside of rest, sorry. So there's no way for frailer Pokemon who can't rely on rest to get rid of it. That's a better way of putting it. And so these Pokemon were great for that. But the dynamic was that Rhydon was the stronger overall Pokemon in terms of stats. It took hits better, it did more damage. But Golem was weaker overall, but it had Explosion. And what Explosion does is it's a 340 damage attack that kills you. So it's a really nice last resort, or if there's just something on the enemy team that you've no other way to get rid of, you know? However, Golem has fallen off massively because people have kind of realized over time that it's just missing out on some kills that Rhydon can get consistently, you know? Golem is actually, it didn't fall to underused like Dragonite. It fell to never used. Because it's weird. It slipped out of overused, you know, from not being used. But it just happened to be terrible and underused, which is really interesting. I'd love to look into that more. It's quite good in never used, though, I believe. I have no fucking clue what Porygon's doing here. I don't know what this fucker does. And we'll ignore these guys, right? These are niche Pokemon. A mistake a lot of people make when getting into Generation 1 overused is that they want to be, you know, they want to use these cool niche Pokemon and, you know, really take the opponent by surprise. I think when you're getting into this tier, you want to stick with, like, these guys. You want to stick with a consistent team. And then when you have a better understanding of the function of these Pokemon and how the tier works as a whole, then you pull out these boys, right? Then you can experiment a bit. But I did this mistake too. I used to use like 3 of these fuckers on a team because I thought it was cool and quirky. No, bad idea. Bad idea. You need to know what you're doing with these guys. They do have a niche. There's a reason that they are, you know, not in this, which I'm not even going to fucking open. I'm not opening E-Rank. It's just garbage for days, right? There's a reason these Pokemon have seen success. But you need to understand that reason, and you need to understand why that reason can be less useful than, like, what makes these guys good. Okay? That being said, a niche is a niche. You can make them work. Just, please, get a grasp of how to play the tier with a solid team, and then you can start incorporating these guys. So yeah, I love this tier. It's really fun to me. And again, I know I'm a fighting game content creator, so a lot of my audience probably wouldn't be too bothered by this. But I'd love if more people got into this. It's an incredibly interesting metagame. If you want to learn more about it, I would recommend, like, BKC's videos. I love BKC. Oh, I could throw on one of his videos and just sit down and listen for, like, 2 hours while I go for a walk about how, like, one move was good from Generation 1 to 5. It's great. So anyway, let's look at this replay, right? This was a game I had last night. I'll be completely honest. I was just doing this while I was playing while I was watching Love Island. Fucking Love Island in one tab, like half paying attention while I had this going on. Man, I just admitted that I watched Love Island. My subscriber count just dipped from like, well, this is going on the second channel, so it's going to go from like 650 to just 6. I'm sorry, guys. I'm sorry. Listen. I'm not saying Love Island is good, but I am saying it's great background noise. Oh, why was that? So anyway. The reason I like this game that I had is that I fuck up really bad at multiple points. But there's a nice little comeback, and I think it's important to realize, like, where I fuck up, right? Like, what goes wrong. So, let's watch it, right? Also, actually, one thing I want to say, I'm sorry, I'm going to go back to this, right? There are a few Pokemon in E-Rank, right? Are they here? They might not even be... Okay. There's a few Pokemon in here that are like noob traps, okay? That you might think are really good. Actually, you know what? Let's just play, okay? So, Alakazam, right? Alakazam is a great lead because it's very fast, it's very strong, it takes special hits well, and it has a fast paralysis. And the reason why Electrode is a bit of a noob trap is because Electrode is the fastest Pokemon in the game, and it learns Thunder Wave. So people are like, oh, if I use this, I can get Thunder Wave off before anyone else. I can paralyze the opponent first thing, and they'll do nothing about it. See, yeah, it's guaranteed to get the paralysis off before Alakazam. The problem is, Alakazam can kind of do other things. Right? Alakazam has an incredibly strong Psychic. It has Recovery. It can deal consistent damage with Seismic Toss. Can, you know, it's a lot this Pokemon can do. It can raise its defense with Reflect. Where'd he go? Electrode has a fast Paralysis, and that's it. It has a mediocre Thunderbolt that does a tiny bit of damage, and it has the shittiest explosion ever. Does, like, nothing. And a big example of why this sucks so much, right, is when you switch Rhydon into it. Because as I said earlier, Rhydon is immune to Thunder Wave, so it can absorb it. If you guess right, you can switch in, and you get a free switch. You get your Pokemon in safely. The issue with Alakazam, right? I would be fucking scared switching Rhydon into Alakazam. Because Rhydon takes, I think, 45 to 53% of its health from a Psychic. So it's risky. Best case scenario, right? Switching Rhydon into Alakazam. You switch it in, you guess right, and the Alakazam went for Thunder Wave. So you get in for free. You're slower than Alakazam, it hits you with a Psychic. Hopefully you don't take half your health. Hopefully it's closer to 45%. You hit it with a Body Slam, you do, I think, 37% minimum. And you get the 30% chance that it paralyzes, right? And now you're in a great spot. You have, hopefully, over half your health. And you're faster than Alakazam because you paralyzed it. Earthquake does minimum 65%, I think. So that'll kill. So Alakazam either has to stay in and die, or switch out. And if the Alakazam is forced to switch out, you can play around that too. You can go for a Body Slam, that's a safe bet. You can set up a substitute, you know. But this is best case scenario. You could just eat 2 Psychics and die. That's a very real possibility. With Electrode, if I see Electrode, I can just switch right on in, and there is literally no risk. There is virtually nothing Electrode can do to me. Electrode just kind of has to accept that it's going to die or switch out. You know, there's no risk at all. I think another bit of a noob trap. Is he here? Machamp! Machamp, oh my god. If I had $1 for every time I saw Machamp, I wouldn't really know what to do with it, because I live in Ireland, so the dollar does fuck all for me. But, Machamp. People look at Machamp because it's the strongest fighting type and go, oh, normal types are really good in Generation 1. Fighting type, normal types are weak to fighting type attacks. This will be great. No, Machamp sucks. Don't use it, please. So anyway, I'm Alakazam, they have a Chansey. This is not a great matchup for Alakazam, because you can try and paralyze the Chansey, but you're just going to get paralyzed back. It could go for an Ice Beam, you could get frozen. And Alakazam is a special attacker, Chansey is a special wall. You can't do much. So, what I'm do is I think that the Chansey is going to try paralyze me, which will be quite bad for Alakazam, because Alakazam is very fast. So having your speed cut is very bad. So what I do is I switch to Chansey, and yeah, I get paralyzed. This is not the worst thing in the world, right? Of course, my Chansey now has a 25% chance to just do fuck all whenever I try to attack, which isn't great, and it's now much slower. It's 75% slower. But something nice about being paralyzed is that I'm statused. I can't be inflicted with another status. So I can switch this into a sleep move. Because being put to sleep in Generation 1 is terrifying, right? It lasts 1 to 7 turns. And you're not actually allowed to move the turn that you wake up. It's scary. You're basically dead. You're basically dead in a way. Not all the time, but you get what I mean. So now I have a Sleep Absorber. I can switch this into Sleep. I can more safely switch it into Ice Beam without the risk of 10% chance of being frozen. Being frozen in Generation 1 is a death sentence. It's just, there's not, it's over. That's why there's Freeze Claws. Only one of your opponent's Pokemon can be put to sleep, and only one of them can be frozen. It would be hell otherwise. So I'm paralyzed, that's not too bad. I get hit with a Seismic Toss, and I try to put the opponent's Pokemon to sleep with Sing. My Chansey set is It's a triple KO Chansey, which is a really cool set devised by, I think, Nails. Nails is a really good Generation 1 player. And it's Ice Beam, Counter, Sing, and Soft Boiled. And the reason it's called triple KO Chansey is because you basically have 3 different moves that are focused around incapacitating the opponent. Ice Beam, you've that 10% chance to freeze. Sing, you can put something to sleep. And it's very inaccurate. It's only a 55% chance to hit. But Chansey's fat as fuck. It's got a lot of chances to throw out Sing. And then Counter, we'll talk about Counter later, right? So I missed the Sing, unfortunate. Switch in Slowbro, and I land with an Ice Beam. I don't get a freeze, fair enough, only 10% chance. This is rough, because I kind of can't do shit. I have to switch out. I think I do. Yep, I bring in Tauros. I do not... I make a couple bad plays coming up soon, alright? I hate Slowbro, so I'm just gonna smack it with Body Slam. It's gonna do 35, I believe. Oh, wait, yeah, no, it crits, so I do 49. That's good. So, he's already below half health. That's nice. I don't get the paralysis. Reflect. Now he takes half damage from physical attacks, unless I crit. Crits ignore Reflect. I go for another Body Slam. You can see that does, like, nothing. 12%. And here's where I make a very bad play, right? Or do I? No, I do. I do make a bad play. Okay, so I get hit by a Psychic, and it does a lot, because he's got a Amnesia up, so it's doing double damage. Here's my bad play. I go for a Hyper Beam, it misses. In Generation 1, if Hyper Beam knocks the opponent out, then you don't have to recharge. So it's a great move, because it does 150 damage. The problem is, Hyper Beam wouldn't have killed if it hit. It would have done 22% maximum, because of Reflect. If it crit, that wouldn't have been the case. But I got unlucky and it missed. What I should have done in this situation was go for a Body Slam and hope for a crit. Because if I go for Body Slam, even if it doesn't crit, there's the 33% chance that the Slowbro is paralyzed. And if it did crit, Slowbro dies, right? And it's 100% accurate compared to Hyper Beam, which is 90%. So that was a bad play on my part. And now I die to Surf. Fair enough. I played bad. This is the bad play to end all bad plays, right? This shit is incredibly dumb. Articuno, already a bit of a niche pick, and you can tell that this is my first time using it, because man, do I play this Pokemon like garbage. I go for a fucking Hyper Beam, which wouldn't have killed with Tauros, so I don't know why I thought it would kill with Articuno, who is not a physical attacker. 12%. Does nothing. I fucked up big time. Fair. Just for the record, the reason I'm using Articuno is because this team is focused around just doing a lot of damage and, like, incapacitating, like, getting something to sleep with Sing, potentially, and then just, boom, hella damage. And Articuno's thing, and the reason it was only C tier in the Viability, C+ in the Viability rankings, is because that's all Articuno really does. It's just a big beat stick. It's got the strongest Blizzard in the game, and that's kind of all it has going for it. It doesn't do much else. In fact, its move pool is so bad that it actually kind of works it in its favor, because it has so few options. It actually runs Blizzard and Ice Beam. So you have 24 ice attacks. Blizzard is incredibly strong, but there's a 10% chance to miss, and you've only got 8 of them. So being able to run being able to run both of them, it's a nice luxury. It's good. So now I get the special full from Psychic. I have to recharge. I'm dead. Bad play. And here's what I should have done. I send in Alakazam, go for Psychic, Seismic Toss. He's dead. Seismic Toss ignores, like, Reflect. It just does 100 HP of damage. That's what it does. You know? It ignores resistances, it ignores immunities. This is what I should have done in the first place. That would have been the smart play. So yeah, good job, Soup. You got him. Tauros. I paralyzed the Tauros, but I'm going to eat an attack here. And yeah, that does half my health. That's scary. But the Tauros is paralyzed, which is good, because Tauros, #1 Pokemon in the metagame. I'd rather have it paralyzed than not paralyzed. I think I switch out here. Bring in Snorlax, yeah. Body Slam. Okay, I think this is where I make an incredibly strange play. Just for the record, if you're wondering what Snorlax, like, does, Snorlax and Tauros, kind of similar in a way. Snorlax is incredibly slow, but it's a lot bulkier, and it does a tiny bit more damage. It's got a few more options. Tauros is generally always going to run, Body Slam, Hyper Beam, Blizzard, Earthquake, right? Snorlax has a ton of options, you know? My Snorlax is an all-out offense one. Body Slam, Counter, Earthquake, and Self-Destruct. For the record, my Tauros, I use Fire Blast over Earthquake, which might seem weird. But basically, what running Fire Blast over Earthquake means is that you lose to Gengar, because Earthquake is mainly to hit Gengar, right? Because there's no abilities in this generation, so Gengar is weak to it. But Gengar's quite uncommon, it's quite inconsistent, you don't see it a lot. Funnily enough, you're about to see it. Fire Blast is nice in the Tauros Ditto, because what you normally do in the Tauros Ditto is you go for a Body Slam, you go for a Blizzard, hoping for that 10% chance to freeze, and then you go for a Hyper Beam to finish it off, right? I like to go for a Fire Blast instead of a Blizzard, because when you factor in accuracy, Blizzard has a 9% chance of getting a freeze, right? Fire Blast has a... Oh, I'm not sure what the chance is. I'm going to say... I'm bad at math. It's an 85% accurate move that, if it hits, has a 30% chance to burn. What is that? You figure it out. It's like, it's probably like, I don't know, 20-something. 25? We'll call it 25. Call it 25. You have a higher chance to burn Tauros than you do to freeze it. And if you burn the Tauros, its attack is halved. And then you've kind of just won the Ditto. So that's why I prefer Fire Blast on Tauros over Earthquake. You give up being able to consistently beat Gengar to do better in the Tauros Ditto. And now here's a fucking wacky move. I just had a Body Slam, right? Oh, sorry. I use Counter on their Gengar, okay? And a lot of people familiar with newer gens might be like, what the fuck have you done? Counter in this generation is balked. It is ridiculous. So how it works in current generations is you use it, and on that same turn you use it, the opponent hits you. And if they attacked you with a physical move, you deal double the damage you took back. How it works in Generation 1 is the last normal or fighting type attack that you were... If the last attack you were hit by was a normal type move or a fighting type move, you deal double the damage back. And even though it's a fighting type move, it ignores type... like resistance and immunities. So Gengar should be immune to fighting type attacks because it's ghost type. Nope. And it's insane because it doesn't have to happen on the same turn. Like, I got hit by a Body Slam, and then the next turn, Tauros switches into Gengar. But I still hit with Counter. It's a crazy, crazy move, and honestly, it saves my ass in this game where I was not doing particularly well up to this point. So Gengar is in a bad spot. Now, Gengar's faster, and even though it's an inconsistent source of sleep, because, you know, 60% chance to land, I switch out to Chansey, because I'm worried about the Hypnosis, and I was right to be worried. Even though it missed, if Hypnosis hit here, Chansey would have been immune, because Chansey is paralyzed, and there's nothing Gengar can really do about Chansey. I think I go for an Ice Beam here. Yeah, Ice Beam would have knocked out Gengar, I think? It's hard to say. But it does a nice bit of damage to the Tauros, and... Counter again! Counter! This move! Listen. This move's fucking stupid, and I love it. Oh, Counter has saved my ass on a number of occasions, honestly. So that's their Tauros gone. Tauros is gone. So we're 4-4 at the moment. We both have 4 Pokemon. He brings in Snorlax. What did I do here? I think I switched, don't I? Oh, fuck, that was lucky. Okay, yeah, so their Snorlax gets an Amnesia up, which is scary. But I put them to sleep with Sing. I think I switch out here, don't I? Yeah, I bring in my Snorlax. This is a good spot. This is nice. So I've got my Snorlax in against their sleeping Snorlax. And I think they don't switch out, which I think was a weird choice. But I think they just wanted to hang on to the Amnesia boost. Because if you switch out, you lose your boosts, right? So I think they just wanted to, like, hope that the sleep wouldn't last that long and, like, wait it out. I am down in terms of health after all. I hit it with an Earthquake because I was predicting a switch to Gengar. But no, that's fine. And then I think I go Body Slam. And then another Body Slam. And this was a risky play. Because both of those did 26%. Right? And he's got 28% left. But I felt like it was a range. Like, there's a little bit of random variance in how much damage moves can do. And I was right, because I go for Body Slam again, and it does 28%. So yeah, that was lucky. That was lucky. Now it's Gengar. I swap to Chansey. And yep, this time I actually absorb the sleep. It doesn't miss. So that was a good play. I saw the sleep coming. And then I eat a Psychic, which is unfortunate, but then I hit it with Ice Beam. I don't know if the crit mattered. I don't know if the crit mattered. I'd lean to say... I don't think it did. I'll have to check the calculator. Do I have the calculator, like, open? I do, actually. Yeah, we can check this right now. Hold up. Chansey. Where are you at? Oh, you... Bolt Beam... Gengar... Where's Gengar? Okay, Ice Beam. No! Oh, the crit mattered! That's crazy! Wow, I didn't see that coming. That's pretty cool. Man, I would have been 1% off. Wow. Man, this... Whew. I'm shocked by that. I didn't think the crit mattered. What do you know? Anyways, Gengar's down. In comes Chansey. I think we just, like, do Chansey things for a minute. We go back and forth. I get fully paralyzed. Unfortunate. I get Seismic Tossed again. I get a Soft Boiled off. I restore some health. In comes Jinx. Fully paralyzed. Jinx... Saving Jinx this late into the game was a bit of a weird play. Jinx is good because it's fast. It's got a more reliable sleep move than Gengar. It's got a strong Blizzard, strong Psychic. Jinx weakness is it kind of falls off in the late game a bit. It's incredibly frail, especially on the physical side. The double switch was interesting. I go for Sing, but it misses. They go for a Seismic Toss. Do I go for Sing again? No, I go for Ice Beam. Okay, that was a strange choice, I think. And I think here, yep, another Soft Boiled, get some health back. They're going to keep going for Seismic Toss. I don't know if that was the right thing to do. And now this is kind of GG's. This is in a way, this is GG's. So their Chansey's put to sleep. And now I bring in... I'm realizing there's a Pokemon that I haven't used. Alakazam comes in. And I paralyze the Jinx. So now they're in a very bad spot. Their Chansey's asleep, their Jinx is paralyzed. Not great. What is that last Pokemon? Oh, that's Rhydon, I think. Do I ever use the Rhydon? I think I... Oh, I do. Yeah. Or do I? So I recover that off. I recover more than I... Oh, my... Okay. I should talk about this. Psychic. What makes this move so scary in Generation 1? 33% chance to drop your special. Which is a big deal. Because that means you're doing 33% less damage with special attacks, and you're taking 33% more damage from special attacks. It's scary. It's scary. I think I switch out. What do I do? Recover again. How much does Blizzard do? That does more than I recover. Man, this was risky. That was... Ooh. I could have gotten frozen there. I don't know if I like what I did there, but it's fine. In comes Chansey. Tanks Blizzard like it's nothing. I tank a Psychic. Go for a Soft Boiled. Get some health back. And in comes Alakazam. And now... Yeah, I'm at low health. But I'm in a good spot because now I don't have the special drop. So now I can recover more health than Jinx deals. However, I am kind of just sitting here. I think I get... Do I get another special drop? Is that what happens? Oh, no, I go for Psychic and I get the special drop. That's nice. So now they're doing less damage. Oh, crit! Oh, so that's what happened to Alakazam. Right, I remember now. Man, okay, so yeah. Soup is dead. Godspeed, Soup. You were a good dude. You did your best. In comes the lad. This was a move, right? You could argue this was not the right play. But the thing is, right? Whether they... That self-destruct was the same... You can see my entire moveset here. Listen, my Snorlax was... Wait, was my Snorlax paralyzed? Yeah, right? Snorlax was paralyzed, wasn't he? Or was he not? No, he wasn't. Okay, right. So, this was kind of like the safe option, right? Playing it safe. Because I could sit here and just, like, beat away with Body Slam over and over. But the thing is, I don't think Body Slam would have killed. We're going to check the calcs again? Let's check the calcs, just so we know. Jinx. Let's see. How much would a Body Slam done? Oh, Reflect was up. Yeah. Body Slam wouldn't have killed without a crit. And Snorlax is very slow, so it doesn't get crits often. So, I didn't want to risk getting frozen by Blizzard or having my special drop by Psychic. So I'm just like, fuck you. Get deleted. Play it safe. Sack my Snorlax. Take out... And the thing that's good as well is if they switched in Chansey, that would have done it as well. Self-destruct would have killed Chansey completely. And it crit... I didn't even fucking remember that. Fucking Jesus Christ. Fucking overkill, dude. Alright, whatever. So now all they have left is Chansey that's asleep. In comes Jerry. I don't know why I put up a substitute. There was no need, really. Substitute, you don't see it in Gen 1 outside of Rhydon because it doesn't block status. And that's kind of a reason why it's quite good on Rhydon. Because Rhydon is already immune to Thunder Wave. Toxic is bad. There's no move that specifically inflicts burn and just does that. So basically, you're just vulnerable to sleep. And the Pokemon, with the exception of Exeggutor, the Pokemon that inflict sleep do not like switching in to Rhydon. And then, yeah, I think I just hammer away with Earthquake and it dies. Yeah, that's it. So that was GG's. So, that was it. I enjoyed this a lot. I enjoyed this game. It's been ages since I played Red and Blue Overused, but it's so fun. It's been a joy to get back into it, you know? And I hope that this video, even if it felt a bit rambly, this encourages you to check it out. Listen, it's fun to... The community is pretty cool. It's fun to build teams, because I feel with newer generations you can be overwhelmed by how many options you have, and it's hard to know what works with what. But the smaller pool of Pokemon, I think, makes it relatively easy to build a team. So yeah, I really recommend giving it a go sometime. I've had a lot of fun revisiting the tier. It's been super fun. If you ever want, like, advice, ask me. I'm not the best player, but I understand how things do. If you ever want to know, you know, any weird things about Gen 1, or if you want to know a Pokemon that would work well with another Pokemon, or how to deal with a certain Pokemon, listen, I'm here. Again, this might have felt a bit rambly, but I love this. I love Gen 1 OU, and hopefully you will too. I know this is very different from what I normally do, but it's fun to talk about, so hey, catch you on the flip side. And I'll get back to doing my normal shtick soon enough. I just wanted to squeeze this out because it's something I've been enjoying lately, and, you know, kind of busy at the moment. So,